If I asked you about the largest intelligence agencies in the world in terms of the number of agents, you would surely think of the thousands of agents affiliated with the CIA, or even the current Russian intelligence, the FSB, or the former Soviet intelligence, the KGB. But let me tell you that there is a country that possesses a number of agents exceeding 1 billion. Its intelligence is very simple, relying on traditional methods, yet it is extremely effective, and even surpasses American and Russian intelligence in terms of efficiency and acumen. Every citizen of the country is a spy and a secret agent ready to answer the call at any time and in any place. And if you think that the symbol of the hammer and sickle ended with the fall of the Soviet Union, let me tell you that the hammer and sickle still represent the symbol of one of the most powerful intelligence agencies in the world. After the end of the KGB era, the intelligence we are talking about is Chinese intelligence, the MSS, Ministry of State Security. In 1983, China decided to join the global intelligence race alongside the CIA, the KGB, and British intelligence, and built a strong apparatus that competes with these agencies and even surpasses them. Of course, this discussion is about the current intelligence apparatus of China, known as the Ministry of State Security. If you want to know more about the KGB, the CIA, and a detailed archive, you'll find all those videos in the description with full details. Returning to our subject, we see that intelligence work in China has existed since 1928 to root out dissenters in the country through a special investigative entity established during the era of China's first leader, Chiang Kai-shek. Later, Chinese communists developed intelligence work and set up more than one agency to manage social affairs under the leadership of Jiang Jing, who received intelligence training in the Soviet Union. In 1949, after the Chinese Communist Party's victory over the nationalists, the task of intelligence was transferred to the Public Security Agency, whose mission at that time was to maintain internal security and monitor foreigners present in China. In the 1970s, espionage methods changed. Instead of relying on embassy employees to gather information, reliance shifted to journalists and businessmen until 1983, when the merger between the Central Investigation Department and the espionage units affiliated with the Public Security Agency took place, forming the modern structural shape of Chinese intelligence, known as the Ministry of State Security. The Chinese Ministry of State Security is similar to other global intelligence agencies in terms of its objective, which is to protect state security in its entirety, both from within and from abroad. The headquarters of the Ministry of State Security is located in Beijing and consists of 18 offices, one of which is a special office whose mission is to focus on operations against the United States. And here's a piece of information you might not be aware of. Currently, there is a Cold War between China and the United States, similar to the one that existed between America and the Soviet Union after World War II. We will talk about this intelligence war later, after we first understand the method by which Chinese intelligence operates. We all know that China is the second largest country in the world in terms of population, reaching about 1.5 billion people. And that is why it is the country with the largest number of agents and spies in the entire world. The first strategy followed by the Chinese intelligence apparatus is the human wave strategy. Due to its enormous population, the intelligence agency is able to gather huge amounts of information from the Chinese people themselves. The entire population is connected to special operational units of the communist regime, called Dainu. The Dainu system encompasses all institutions, such as factories, schools, hospitals, and even Chinese government offices. Since most Chinese citizens were members of one of these operational units, the state possesses all their personal data. And of course, Chinese intelligence uses this data to turn a citizen into a spy when needed, even if it means betraying his own family. The second strategy used by the Chinese intelligence apparatus is called bottom of the ocean fish. This strategy relies on recruiting millions of Chinese from all over the world to supply the intelligence with any information, even if it is small and seemingly insignificant.
To successfully recruit these citizens, intelligence resorts to all methods, even threatening their families back in China.
The third strategy for espionage is the planting of foreign agents for long-term operations. These three strategies combined in a manner different from all other intelligence agencies in the world. Instead of using a small number of trained agents equipped with the latest gadgets and weapons, a very large number of ordinary citizens are used. And instead of one big, long operation, reliance is placed on thousands of small espionage operations. In 2008, China launched a massive program called 1,000 Talents to gather the best minds among Chinese youth, providing them with all available resources so that they can benefit the state in various fields and dominate global trade. Of course, this program causes a great deal of uproar in the American government because it always accuses China of stealing its technological ideas and American patents, which affects the American market with billions of dollars in losses annually due to Chinese espionage. Another recent example involved intellectual property theft. Chinese intelligence succeeded in spying on more than one American company in order to imitate it and then compete with it globally. During this project, it even succeeded in recruiting American agents to transfer their patents, such as Professor Charles Lieber, who was arrested in 2020 and accused of receiving money from Chinese intelligence to transfer his technological secrets to China. And that's not all. Chinese intelligence has a terrifying record of espionage operations that rocked the entire world. For instance, in 2015, when it infiltrated the US Office of Personnel Management, Chinese intelligence stole data on more than 22 million American government employees, in addition to federal agents, American intelligence agents, and even US soldiers. These data later helped in identifying potential American spies so that China could then purge itself of CIA agents. Because during 2010 and 2011, the Chinese government noticed that the CIA was carrying out recruitment operations within China. This was discovered by double agent Jerry Chun-Ching Lee, who leaked all the data of the CIA's secret agents in China. Within 2 years, Chinese intelligence succeeded in arresting and killing more than 30 American spies, leading to the collapse of the American espionage network in China that had spanned decades.
That period was one of the worst in the history of the American intelligence agency, the CIA, and that blow was one of the most significant in modern intelligence history. In 2020, American intelligence intercepted a group of Chinese hackers affiliated with Chinese intelligence who stole research on coronavirus vaccines. One of the largest espionage and data theft operations carried out by Chinese intelligence was the theft of secrets from Airbus in 2019. At a time when America was dominant in aircraft manufacturing and China was lagging behind, Chinese intelligence managed to steal industry secrets to give China an advantage in aircraft manufacturing by using Western technologies instead of wasting years in research and development. Additionally, Chinese intelligence experts succeeded in infiltrating major technology companies like Google and Microsoft to steal their data and research. And of course, this continues to happen until now. These operations demonstrate the persistent and far-reaching efforts of Chinese intelligence to gain technological advantages and impact global competition. We have all witnessed the development of the AI engine DeepSeek, which outperforms American AI engines and causes them huge losses. Chinese intelligence is considered one of the largest and most secretive intelligence agencies in the world, with a long history of political purges, interrogations, and espionage operations. Up to now, no one in the world knows the method by which they train their agents or even how they recruit, making them the most mysterious intelligence apparatus in the world. If you think that the current role of Chinese intelligence is merely a war of spies with America and the stealing of its secrets, you are mistaken, because the repressive apparatus is still actively tracking down neighboring countries to discover dissidents and eliminate them. In 2014, Chinese intelligence managed an operation called Fox Hunt, a global campaign to fight corruption, but in truth, it was a secret cover to eliminate all dissidents around the world. Chinese intelligence is extremely brutal. Its danger affects those close before the distant. In the book, The Chinese Communist Spy by Peter Mattis and Matthew Brazel, there's a very famous story about the Chinese intelligence apparatus. When they executed a double agent in the external arena of the Ministry of State Security headquarters, it was to spare the other agents from ever having to see him again.
Once, in 2015, 5 Chinese employees disappeared because they had written books about the lives of Chinese judges. But later, after a while, they reappeared on Chinese television in a pitiful state, claiming that they had returned to China voluntarily, though the truth was different. The employees who fled to Thailand and Hong Kong were pursued by Chinese intelligence, the MSS, and arrested without regard for the sovereignty of other countries. Chinese intelligence has no boundaries when it comes to suppressing dissent. They can do anything to counter it. One of the famous examples is the Chinese billionaire Jack Ma, founder of Alibaba, who disappeared in 2020 immediately after he criticized the Chinese financial system. I will be making a video about this soon, so if you are not subscribed to the channel, make sure to subscribe and activate the notification bell so that you receive all our upcoming videos. He reappeared after 3 months and announced that he was fine and that he just needed some time alone. But of course, he had learned the lesson that no matter how strong or influential one is, the MSS can reach him at any moment and put an end to all that influence. Another mysterious case is the incident involving Li Wangyang, a Chinese activist who played a key role in the Tiananmen Square protests in 1989 and was subsequently arrested for more than 20 years. In 2012, he was found hanged in his hospital room, and everyone was convinced that the MSS had a role in his death. Many countries have been subjected to campaigns of oppression and espionage by Chinese intelligence. Of course, Taiwan is still considered a base for Chinese intelligence, where politicians, military officers, and businessmen are targeted to gather sensitive information about Taiwan for Chinese intelligence. Even the head of Taiwan's military intelligence was convicted in 2011 of spying for China and transferring very dangerous information regarding Taiwan's defense systems. Currently, Chinese intelligence is still expanding and has become present in all aspects of Chinese society. It even has an account on the WeChat application, which is widely used in China. And let's not forget, of course, the world's most famous application at the moment, TikTok, which the United States halted in its country, or was on the verge of halting because it suspected that Chinese intelligence uses it to steal data and information from the state. Chinese intelligence has begun to receive significant recognition around the world due to the political and trade tensions between China and the United States. And the modern Cold War continues between China and America. Every now and then, one side announces the arrest of spies from the other side. For example, in 2020, China announced the arrest of 2 Canadians in China on espionage charges. And shortly thereafter, America announced the arrest of 2 MSS agents in America on piracy charges, not to mention the repeated cyber attacks by the MSS. Until now, no one knows what this war will ultimately result in. But what is certain, and what everyone knows, is that despite its extreme secrecy and the lack of broad details about its operations, Chinese intelligence, the MSS, remains one of the most dangerous intelligence agencies in the world.